8:06 here on the great WRKO and now on 93.7 HD2. Welcome back to Hour 3 of the Kuhner Report. 617-266-6868. Jeff Kuhner, the voice of the resistance. My friends, before we get to Joe Battenfeld, he's hanging on the phone right now. Just a quick heads up. There are only a few opportunities in life to make a real difference by standing up for what you believe in. Well, the next one is tonight. Common Core can still be stopped. These standards are being implemented across the country, but the window for action is small and closing quickly. Glenn Beck's We Will Not Conform is not just a typical movie. It's an interactive experience that will give the viewer tools needed to go out into the community and, yes, make a difference. The movie is out. I urge all of you, please see the movie tonight. There is going to be a showing at 670 Legacy Place in Dedham, Massachusetts, zip code 02026. So again, if you can make it out tonight, it's going to be a wonderful movie-going experience, good for you and the family. We have to stand up against Common Core, which is essentially an attempt to implement socialism into our education system. Glenn Beck's We Will Not Conform. You can see the movie tonight. 670 Legacy Place in Dedham, obviously in Massachusetts. 02026 is the zip code. My friends, joining me now, none other than Joe Battenfeld, political columnist and writer at the Boston Herald. Joe, thanks again for coming back on the Kuhner Report.
Sure, Jeff, no problem.
Joe, so what do you make of Charlie Baker's decision, to me, frankly, stunning, shocking, to basically support Deval Patrick's position on housing and sheltering at least 1,000 unaccompanied minors from Central America on Cape Cod and in Chicopee? Good decision, bad decision, and why do you think he did it?
Well, I don't think you should be shocked, Jeff, because, this has been going on for a long time where you talked about it. It's been driving you crazy that Baker has continually taken positions that really are kind of in the middle. He's afraid to take one position or the other. He's saying in this case, he's trying to make it all on the feds. Well, the feds have to pay for it. The feds have to be more transparent. He's very careful not to, say Governor Patrick is wrong. He's never said those words. Governor Patrick is wrong. And in this case, I know he has to tread carefully because you're talking about immigrants and kids, and this is a very liberal state where I'm not sure if he took a poll or not what it would be. But in this case, I think he can say Governor Patrick is wrong because, number one, he's comparing the situation to the Nazis and the Holocaust, which is ridiculous. And somebody should call the governor out on that. I'm sure you have, but somebody like elected officials should call him out, and actually Jewish leaders, to be honest. And he also has to say, which he kind of is, that, look, the governor has bungled all these things. The DCF, he's not taking care of children here. Never once did you see him cry, I don't think, when he talked about Jeremiah Oliver or the situation what's going on. We have a backlog of thousands and thousands, over 10,000, I think, kids in foster care, and they don't have homes. So to all of a sudden turn around and say we have to house these kids, we have to put them up, I think there's nothing wrong with him saying Governor Patrick is wrong in this case. And look at the mayor of Chicopee, Jeff. He's coming out and saying we can't handle this. Why can't Charlie Baker, who's running for governor, stand with the mayor of Chicopee at least and say we can't handle this? I understand he has to tread carefully, but I think he could be stronger, obviously.
Well, Joe, to me, the perfect defense, it's an impregnable defense, is, let's say he runs against Martha Coakley, just for argument's sake. Mm-hmm. She says, you're being, hard-hearted, you're not being compassionate to the children, et cetera, et cetera. He turns around and says, excuse me, Martha, with all due respect, Madam Attorney General, I'm just following what your own party's doing in Maryland. Your liberal Democratic governor in Maryland said not in Maryland. Connecticut, the most liberal, maybe the most liberal governor in the state, or one of the most liberal, Malloy, Moonsbat, says not in Connecticut. So your party doesn't seem to want him. Don't look at me, Madam Attorney General.
Why didn't you give him that line, Jeff? Because that would be good for a debate. I think what's happening here is Baker is being very careful about everything, just because he doesn't want to, incite the Democrats and liberals against him. He's kind of doing pretty good just hanging out right now. I would say Coakley is going down. Grossman is now attacking Coakley in ads. And the Democratic Party is going after each other right now. And I think he has a better shot now of winning the governor's seat without even saying what you said. I mean, in a debate, obviously, he should do that. If he gets attacked, I think then that's a different story. Then he has a strong defense. Right now, I think he's just hanging out. The Democrats are kind of stumbling over themselves, and they probably see polls too that show him now getting closer and maybe tied going into the summer, and he hasn't even started running ads or doing anything yet. So I think that's what they're thinking right now. I hope that's what they're thinking, and that if this comes to a situation where they do attack him or try to link him to Republicans in Congress, he says exactly what you said, Jeff. Look at the Governor Martin O'Malley. He's like the most liberal, running for president probably, and the governor of Connecticut, like you point out, which I can't believe is more liberal than our governor, but maybe I think Patrick has him on that one. But you're right. I think he should say that if they go after him, and I hope he does.
Joe, what's your sense? From my callers, from many of the people that text on the show, I get a lot of emails. From my audience, they're very disappointed in Charlie. They're very angry at Charlie. Many of them say they will not vote, or they'll write in Sean O'Connell or some other candidate. Do you think this potentially could cost Charlie Baker huge in the election?
I guess it's possible, but I would hope not. I hope your listeners would not do that, because first of all, I mean, Baker, if he was governor, would be handling his situation totally different if he was governor. Running for governor and being governor is one thing, but I think Baker would get right to the problem of DCF and start helping kids here and a lot of other agencies. I think he would be a good governor in the sense that he likes to manage stuff like that, and he likes to handle stuff like that, and he would do it much differently than Martha Coakley would, I think, or Steve Grossman. There's no doubt about it. So I would hope they don't do that, because that would assure that a Democrat has the governor's office for the next 4 years. And I know your listeners think that there's no difference. Well, what's the point? But I think there is a difference. There's going to be a difference on issues. So I guess it could hurt them, but I think it is a potential to hurt Democrats more in this case if people are really that upset about it. And let's face it, Governor Patrick is right out there putting himself out more than anybody on this, and if something happens in Chicopee or on the Cape with these kids, or there are problems, they're not going to blame Baker. The voters are going to blame the Democrats.
Joe, before I let you go, I know we talked about this last week, but her name keeps popping up over and over and over again. And the term now being used to describe Senator Elizabeth Warren, Granny Warren, is rock star. Mm-hmm. They're saying she's a Democratic rock star. She's lighting them up. She was recently at Netroots. She addressed this crowd of liberal activists and liberal bloggers. They gave her a huge standing ovation. They say there's a lot of emotion, a lot of energy in the room. And in fact, they're openly comparing her to Obama in 2008, that she has the passion, she has the progressive views, she has the principles, she represents the liberal heart and soul of the Democratic Party. And many are now seriously saying that Hillary is weak, Hillary is vulnerable, and that a President Elizabeth Warren run in 2016 is not only possible, it's not only viable, it's actually probable, and they're saying she may win. You have many Democrats now saying she could win the Democratic primary. that she will win the liberal wing, the base, the progressive base of the Democratic Party, and she can basically neuter the female first woman president issue from Hillary because she's also a woman, and maybe even throw in a Native American on top of it all.
The words President Warren are just, I laugh when I hear that because, and rock star, I mean, that's something that the media is calling her, like Associated Press and stuff, and Washington Post reporters going out, and we know she's not a rock star. That's completely ridiculous. She's not a Barack Obama. She's nowhere close to the kind of the speeches that he can make, the way he can fire people up. There's no way she's a Barack Obama, but I do agree that, she's outmaneuvering Hillary Clinton right now. At that Netroots thing, they were chanting Liz run all the time, and they're serious about it. The liberals, these are like super liberals out there, and they're serious about that. They want her to run, and they will support her. And I think it's smart for Warren, even though she's saying I'm not running, it's smart for her to go out and do this stuff because look at what's happening out there. She's building a national audience, and I think it's smart if you're thinking about running for president. And Hillary is just like going to Boston to do another $250,000 or whatever it is speech. Before financial executives, by the way, these are the people that Elizabeth Warren is going after and calling evil. So that's another smart thing that I think she's doing. Clinton has really got to stop with the book tour. I think it's time to end that and get out there and start acting like you're running for president if you really want to run, because Liz Warren is outflanking her right now. But I do agree that the one thing that Liz Warren brings is that she, like you said, totally neuters this argument where I'm going to be historic, the first woman president. That has been Hillary's argument for the last 6 months or so. I don't know if you saw the interview with Charlie Rose where they were like basically making out, but she was saying you could make history. You could make history. It's like, well, Liz Warren could make history too. So if that takes, you're right, that just takes away your argument. That's why I think Clinton should be concerned with all this rock star stuff with Liz Warren. But you know what's going to happen. Warren's going to go out there, and at the same time she was making that speech, she was running away from a reporter from a website that was trying to ask her about the attacks in Gaza. She's a senator. She ran away and would not even answer that. Yeah, so that's the real Elizabeth Warren to me, and I think people are going to find that out eventually.
Joe, I got to ask you this, because no one covers politics better than you in this state. You've covered her events on numerous occasions, correct?
Yes.
Honestly, does she have the aura, the persona of a rock star, the charisma of a rock star?
No, she does not have charisma at all. I mean, what she does have, I think, is she knows how to rally people, and she has a great message right now. She has a great message, and she's taking advantage of that, but she doesn't have the charisma that certainly Obama or even Hillary Clinton has, really. She is shaky at speeches. The fact that Netroots thing, it wasn't a great speech. If you really look at it, people would cheer if she said anything, basically. And you know how she handles questions, that are unplanned questions. She won't do it. So there's no way she has that kind of charisma. And people are going to find that out. This is just bull. It's like the national media is just falling in love with her. Well,
Joe, I got to ask you, is she a media, in some sense, is she a media creation? Are they kind of building her up?
No, I don't actually think she's a media creation. I think really this whole Elizabeth Warren for president stuff has really come from Democratic activists. It really has. It has this. The media before wasn't talking about this there as Elizabeth Warren was really a serious candidate or even run. I mean, we were talking about it maybe 4 or 5 months ago. People would laugh and say, yeah, right. But honestly, people are out there wanting her to run. That's not a creation. That is real. And the media, I think, was actually slow to catch up to that. And so it really is out there. I think what the media creation is the whole rock star thing. But I think there is a groundswell of liberals, very liberal people out there that want her to run. It's not enough to get her the nomination, but it's enough to get people excited.
We have been talking with Joe Battenfeld, political columnist and writer at the Boston Herald, one of the best in the business. Joe, as usual, great stuff, and thanks for coming on the Kuhner Report.
All right, Jeff, thank you.
Thank you so much, Joe. Double-barreled question, Kuhner Country. Number one, what do you make of Charlie Baker's decision to essentially endorse Deval Patrick and the dumping of illegal immigrants in our state? Do you think this will damage Baker in the election? Will it cost him your vote? And Elizabeth Warren, is she the rock star of the Democratic Party? Is she the Obama of 2016? 821 on the great WRKO, 617-266-6868. All of your calls. Next. Elizabeth, you're up next on the great WRKO. It's currently 8:25, and welcome.
Hi, good morning, Jeff.
Hi.
I'm sorry to take away from the topic today, but I just have a general question. If you can explain what the Common Core is, for my own self and maybe other listeners, and I'll take your explanation off the air.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a very, very important question. Essentially, what Common Core is, in a nutshell, is it's a curriculum devised by the federal government. A lot of input has been given into it from the states, but is essentially a federal government creation whereby liberal activists, socialist, secular, progressive activists are now forcing almost every school, let's say in Massachusetts, public school, most private schools, even parochial schools, for example, Catholic schools. We're thinking of sending Ashton to pre-K. They say they incorporate some elements of Common Core. So it's essentially a national curriculum that they are trying to impose upon our children for elementary school and high school. Secondary and elementary school. And what is so disconcerting about Common Core, there's a couple. Number one, in this country, rightly, education has always been a local issue, a state-local issue, because every community is different, every community is distinct. So what you're now seeing is the nationalization, the federalization, the centralization of our entire education system. Basically, it's one size fits all. Why is that dangerous? The reason why the government is doing this, the reason why Obama wants to do this, it's part of his socialist transformation of America, is if all the students have the same curriculum, you can then inculcate them, indoctrinate them, brainwash them. And that's, if you actually look at Common Core, that's exactly what they're doing. You look at, for example, their history curriculum. They excoriate and demonize our founding fathers. They go on how they were nothing more than dead white men who were slaveholders. They talk about America as being founded upon genocide, upon slavery, upon the oppression of women and homosexuals. In other words, America as evil empire. They don't go on about the greatness of our Constitution, the greatness of our Declaration of Independence, that America, in fact, from its founding until today, has been the beacon of freedom around the world. How you teach your kid math. I'll give you another example. They believe that self-esteem, not results, are the most important thing. So, for example, in many states now being forced to take Common Core, I swear to you, I've talked about it on the show. If you say if your student says in Common Core in a math class, 6 plus 6 equals 13, according to Common Core standards, that's okay. Yes, you say it's wrong, 6 plus 6 equals 12, but what counts is the reasoning behind it, is the attempt behind it. Was there a good attempt, an honest attempt at getting a real answer? You see, so what they're trying to do is essentially create a socialist generation that is going to be anti-Christian, anti-family, and anti-American. It is the way to essentially brainwash our children and create the shock troops for Obama's socialist revolution in the future. It's what the fascists did, it's what the communists did, and it's what the Obama progressives want to do in America. And that's why Glenn Beck is 110% right. Common Core must be stopped, and stopped now. 8:30 on the great WRKO, 617-266-6868. More with your calls next. 8:36 here on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's bulldozer, cleaning up the liberal bull. All right, my friends. If Elizabeth Warren ever becomes, God help us, the Democratic Party's nominee for the president in 2016, or even worse, and now I'm crossing myself. Please, Lord, please don't let this happen. President Elizabeth Warren in 2016. Then we're really doomed. That will be the final death blow. Okay? Guaranteed. The reason why is because low information voters, the takers, the low information crowd, the liberals and progressives who make up the base of the Democratic Party are going to be the ones that are going to carry her all the way in, on a teepee into the White House. And if you want to see what this low information crowd consists of, you want to see how ignorant they are, you want to see how selfish they are, you want to see how irresponsible and self-indulgent they are, what a bunch of fantasists they are, what alternative parallel universe they exist in. Check this out. Yesterday on the O'Reilly Factor, on Bill O'Reilly's show on Fox News, there's a segment called Waters World. Jesse Waters, a correspondent, goes around and he asks people questions, just basic questions, man on the street stuff. Yesterday, he did a segment, guess where he was? Harvard. And so there he is at Harvard in Cambridge, the People's Republic of Cambridge, at Harvard Square. And he interviews 8 people. 5 of them are students. The rest are whatever. The other 3 are residents of Cambridge. The only guy that makes any sense, who's like sane, who's connected to the world, is an overweight, chubby guy with a Boston Red Sox shirt who actually knows things like, how many actual poor people there are in the United States, and even says, the only reason why I know this is I think I'm the only one in Cambridge who actually watches Fox News. I bet even listens to this show, but let that go. Check out what her crowd, what those moonbats in Cambridge think about the world and what they want. My friends, I'm telling you, there's no future with these people. Roll it, Rick.
There's about 46 million people in poverty in America. Does that surprise you?
No, because I've been watching Fox News.
Do you think the government should be giving free food to poor people?
Yes.
Maybe a Chardonnay?
Yeah, sure.
Why can't poor people eat lobster?
You have any caviar?
$16. It's $80 a portion.
Like a ribeye?
No.
How about salmon?
Something that has like some kind of nutrients in it.
Arugula? Do you know how much America spends on food stamps each year?
I don't.
Take a wild guess.
$1 billion.
$76 billion.
Okay, that's more than I thought.
I think it's a basic human right.
Food.
Food.
Thousands of years, people have been trying to have their cake and eat it too.
Where in the Constitution does it say food is guaranteed?
It doesn't.
Do you think the government should be giving free checks next, just as a snack, maybe?
It'll hold them off for like the duration of the day.
What if poor people wanted a stock portfolio? Do you think that might be another option?
Yeah. Entrepreneurialism, I think, would be a really good way to get homeless people off the street.
Surely you can't be serious.
Maybe the government could give gold to poor people.
Sure.
I love gold.
How much money do you think people should get just for walking around money?
$100,000 before I say it.
$100,000 per person per year. That's twice the median income of the average person that's working.
Yeah.
Do you think the government should be handing out free contraception?
Sure.
I I mean, yes.
Yeah.
I think that promotes safe sex as well.
Of course.
Do you think the government should be in your bedroom?
No.
No.
But you want to give out free birth control?
I'm a liberal.
You didn't say anything.
Where in the Constitution does it guarantee the right for free condoms?
George Washington did not pass that.
You think the government should be able to give people free homes?
Yeah, Cape Cod's nice.
Maybe a Cape Cod bungalow, something like that?
Just living the dream.
I'm a Martha's Vineyard guy.
What about free transportation for poor people in America?
Bicycles.
What about a unicycle?
Unicycles are good.
But not as good.
About a quarter of Americans are on welfare.
Well, it's good you have it, otherwise it'd be starving. You would get mugged.
I don't get mugged. Have you seen these cannons?
You know where the weight room is?
Do you think the government should give people free cable TV?
Yeah, sure. Or if people like movies, DVD players to TVs.
It's incredible.
Free iPhones?
Why not? Apple's into doing charity.
Sure.
Free Red Sox tickets would be pretty cool.
Fenway full of homeless people might not look that different than it is now.
This is where I live, little man.
How are we going to pay for all this stuff?
I have no idea.
Hey, I go to Harvard.
Did you ever watch the O'Reilly Factor?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Actually, then she admits that she doesn't watch it. She just says, "Oh, I lied. I don't watch the O'Reilly Factor." That's the future. That's Harvard. That's the supposed best and brightest of our country. I just think about this. Free Chardonnay, free lobster. The guy, $100,000 a year walking around money. Give the homeless Red Sox tickets. I mean, who pays for this? I don't know. I don't know. The 1%. We just have to. Elizabeth Warren, Chief Spreading Bull, says if we just tax the 1% and take all their money, but she's part of the 1%. Okay, but don't take her money. But everyone else's money. But hold on, Obama's the 1%. Okay, don't take his money. Well, the Clintons, they're 1%. Okay, don't take their money. Well, I mean, what about Warren Buffett? No, don't take his money. I mean, everybody, the greedy Republicans, the conservatives, take their money. Just take their money. There's no future with these people. I mean, and you ask the food stamps. What do you think? I mean, just what do you think it costs? $1 billion? No, try $76 billion. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Now, Chief Spreading Bull, recently in the Senate, you know the Hobby Lobby case? Here is a case whereby you had a family-owned business that basically said they're willing to offer 16 of the 20 types of contraception that Obamacare that is forcing employers to offer to everybody. Basically free birth control. Okay, free for everybody. And they say, well, look, we're devout Christians, we're practicing Christians, we don't believe in abortion. We don't, killing babies for us is not, see, the mini-me, you're citing scripture, we're citing scripture, is not kosher with us. It's just not kosher, killing little babies. So, a couple of medications, basically the morning after pill, these abortifacients, as they're called, we don't want to offer them. That was the Hobby Lobby ruling. The Supreme Court said yes. Employers should not be forced to violate their conscience rights and their fundamental religious liberties. Now, I want you to think about this. You may disagree. We can all agree to disagree. It's a free country. The decision was that you cannot force an employer to provide free contraception on 2 or 3 areas regarding providing the morning after pill. They're even willing to provide 16 of 20 other contraceptions. Okay, the pill, spermicide jellies, whatever people use nowadays. But they said, the morning after pill, things that induce abortion, we can't do that. Chief Spreading Bull went on the Senate floor, I swear to you, Senator Elizabeth Warren, and said, this is taking us back, not to the 1950s, I swear to you, 100 years. It's taking us back to before when women didn't have the right to vote. Roll it, Brittany.
I'll be honest. I cannot believe that we are even having a debate about whether employers can deny women access to birth control. Guys, this is 2014, not 1914. Most Americans thought this was settled long, long ago. But for some reason, Republicans keep dragging us back here over and over and over again.
This is incredible. I don't know if Chief Spreading Bull, in all honesty, is either, I really am conflicted. I don't know if she's that obtuse, if she's just that stupid, and she doesn't know what she's talking about, or she's just an utterly cynical, shameless, lying demagogue. First of all, who's taking away the women's right to vote? Is she insane? But let that go. Jeff, let it go, Jeff. Okay. So if one company doesn't want to offer the morning after pill, suddenly now that's denying access to contraception? I mean, that's it. If it's not her, basically her reasoning is this. This is what the Moonbats and the progressives have been. This is what the Democrats and Obama have been arguing now, really for the last 6 years. If it's not free, you don't have access. So you want to use the morning after pill? Go and pay for it. You had the decision to have sex, freedom of choice. You had the decision who you wanted to have sex with, when you wanted to have sex with, what kind of contraception you wanted to use. And if you made a mistake, it's called personal responsibility, and you take care of your own mess. Don't get me wrong, I'm against abortion 110%. But just go out and buy the morning after pill. How is this denying access? By her logic, I'm being denied access to food because it's not given to me for free. By her, because my employer won't give me free food. I need food to live. I gotta pay for my car. I'm being denied access. My employer won't give it to me for free. I gotta buy gas. I'm being denied access. I'm not, forget that Chief Spreading Bull. This is 2014, not 15-14. I have a car. I need to pay gas. How come my employer doesn't give it to me for free? And then, just to show you how radical she is, the woman, only on Harvard could you peddle this kind of nonsense, okay? She then goes in front of the Netroots. I talked about it with Joe Battenfeld. Major conference of left-wing, hard left-wing bloggers and political activists. Again, I kid you not, God is my witness. You want to see what a substitute religion progressivism has become. That's what many people don't realize. It's not a political philosophy. It's almost a substitute religion. It's a faith. And their party, their church is the Democratic Party. Their Pope is the leader of the Democratic Party, in this case, their leader. And their Trinity, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, is race, class, and gender. And so they need their 10 commandments. Well, Chief Spreading Bull, I swear to you, went in front of the Netroots Nation, the crowd, and she said, I'm going to do Jesus and Moses one up. Moses and the Bible gave us 10 commandments. I'm going to give progressives, I swear to you, 11. 11 commandments of progressivism. Because Jesus got it wrong, and Moses got it wrong, and God got it wrong. God only gave us 10. I'm giving the substitute plus 1, 11. Here is what she told in front of a cheering crowd, basically of fanatics. Saying that, she wants to defend, quote, what are our values as progressives? With everyone holding up Run, Liz, Run signs for 2016. What does it mean to be a progressive? Here it is, my friends. Here is the Communist Manifesto for the 21st century. The 11 commandments. Quote, number 1. Commandment number 1. Bash capitalism and Wall Street. Check this one out. Number 1. Commandment, is it, you shall, love God and only serve one God and no other God, no false gods? No. 1. We believe that Wall Street needs stronger rules and tougher enforcement, and we're willing to fight for it. Bash Wall Street. Commandment number 2. We believe in science, and that means that we have a responsibility to protect this earth. Wink, wink. Global warming and radical environmentalism. Anti-capitalism. Commandment number 3. We believe that the internet shouldn't be rigged to benefit big corporations, and that means real net neutrality. Wink, wink, go after conservative websites, bash more big business. Commandment number 4. We believe that no one should work full-time and still live in poverty, and that means raising the minimum wage, unquote. Wink, wink. Destroying jobs, going after and controlling employers and businesses. Basically a form of nationalization. Complete regulation of the economy. Commandment number 5. We believe that fast food workers deserve a livable wage. And that means that when they take to the picket line, we are proud to fight alongside them. Basically, war on the fast food industry. Basically, price it to basically it goes bankrupt. Wink, wink. Commandment number 6. This one is to buy off the students. We believe that students are entitled to get an education without being crushed by debt. Basically, free education for everybody. Paid for by us. Commandment number 7. We believe that after a lifetime of work, people are entitled to retire with dignity, and that means protecting Social Security, Medicare, and pensions. Note the Chief Spreading Bull. Social Security is going broke. Medicare, Obamacare gutted it. That's going broke. And pensions, well, pretty much if you don't have a private pension, you're in big trouble. But let that go. Commandment number 8. We believe, I can't believe I have to say this in 2014, we believe in equal pay for equal work. Wink, wink. Galvanize the feminists and the female vote. The war on women. Chief Spreading Bull, we already have equal pay for equal work, but let that go. Commandment number 9. We believe that equal means equal. And that's true in marriage. It's true in the workplace. It's true in all of America. That's for the LGBT vote. Wink, wink. Commandment number 10. We believe that immigration has made this country strong and vibrant, and that means reform. Wink, wink. Amnesty. So to all the workers out there, blank you. And then finally, and we believe that corporations are not people, that women have a right to their bodies. We will overturn Hobby Lobby, and we will fight for it. We will fight for it, and the crowd goes crazy. Meaning, wink, wink, abortion on demand. You're pregnant, kill the baby. 617, that's Elizabeth Warren's 11 commandments. That's the future she wants for America. Now I ask you, you just heard me say the 11 commandments. How is this not the transformation of America into a secular, radically secular, communist state? Bob, you're up next. Thanks for holding and welcome.
Yes, I concur with you. Elizabeth Warren's a horror show. Listen, I just wanted to tip off Cooksey. I heard his comments last week on Charlie Baker. He's going to be in Marblehead at the Corinthian Yacht Club tonight at 6 o'clock. And I think the mayor of Lynn is going to be there, too. But if he wants to come, he wants to meet me there. I'll pay his way in because there's a couple of Italian sons of immigrants and immigrants, the paisanos are going to get together. We're going to nail this guy.
Well, Bob, I got to tell you, no, Cooksey and Charlie are good friends. They have each other's phone numbers. They text each other. They call each other. Cooksey's very angry at Charlie. Charlie is apparently ducking Cooksey's calls. I've invited him now to come on the show. He's ducking to come on the show. I've asked him to show up at the rally. He's not going to show up at the rally. So, okay, Charlie, you want to stick to your position and lose the election? Be my guest, Charlie. Help me help you, but you don't want to be helped. Diane, I got about a minute. Go.
Oh, hi there. I was suggesting that we get up a contribution at the rally. I'll Glenn Beck and his Mercury One organization. And a dollar per person, we could get maybe $1,000 and send it down to the kids on the border.
Oh, I mean, and help feed those poor, well, some of them. Look, I'll be honest with you. Right now, my big concern is getting a lot of people to show up. Right now, Massachusetts needs organization. Massachusetts needs unity. Massachusetts needs to stand up. And Saturday is where we're going to make our stand, God willing. 9 o'clock on the great WRKO. Don't touch that dial. I got so much more. Let's take it to Angela in the newsroom.
News at the top and bottom, talk in between.
Executing assigned host duties flawlessly because I can't do wrong.
This is AM 680 WRKO, Boston.
9:06 here on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's bulldozer, cleaning up the liberal bull. 617-266-6868 is the number. You can text us at 680-680. All right. I want to talk about Malaysian Airlines, but I'll do that a little bit later in this hour. There are new developments. The showdown between Putin and the dear leader, it's now at Cold War levels. But before I get to that, I want to talk a little bit more about Chief Spreading Bull and Elizabeth Warren. Notice she supports Mini-Me on illegal immigration. Notice, in fact, she wants a single-payer system. She thinks Obamacare doesn't go far enough. I listed for you the 11 commandments that she outlined for the progressive movement. She honestly thinks she's the Karl Marx of the 21st century. Now you know why the Moonbats love her. Now you know why all of these libs are saying, a rock star. She's not a rock star. She's a no-talent hack who basically perpetrated a fraud on the students of Harvard, the faculty of Harvard. Who the hell gets paid $350,000 a year, my God, to teach one course, and claims that her great-great-great-grandmother happened to be a Cherokee Indian, so they hired her as a minority? Who, by the way, is worth north of $14 million. She was a house flipper. She bought low and sold high. She worked for the insurance companies. You know who's been in bed with Wall Street? Chief Spreading Bull. You know who's been in bed with all these financial firms? Chief Spreading Bull. She has a $1.4 million mansion in the People's Republic of Cambridge. And there she is. Like, frankly, many communists I used to know in Eastern Europe, the biggest hypocrites you'll ever see. And she's lecturing us that she stands for the 99% against the 1% when she's the very embodiment of the 1%. She's a crony capitalist. Or in this case, a crony socialist. She lied her way into Harvard. She scammed Harvard. She scammed her clients. She's basically been scamming the people of Massachusetts. Now she's scamming the people of America. Now, what I want to talk about is this. This is what I find incredible. How is it that if something is not given to you for free, you're being denied access? So take the Hobby Lobby case. 16 out of 20 types of contraception. You want glow-in-the-dark condoms? No problem. They pay for it. You want spermicide jellies? No problem. They pay for it. You want the pill? No problem. They pay for it. The morning after pill, anything that induces abortion? No, I'm sorry. It violates our religious beliefs, our fundamental beliefs, our conscience rights, and we don't want to offer that to you for free. You don't like it? Go pay for it yourself or go work somewhere else. And according to Chief Spreading Bull, I swear to you, it's one of her 11 commandments that she outlined for progressivism. It's setting women back not 50 years, not 60 years, but 100 years before they even had the right to vote. Roll it, Brittany.
I'll be honest. I cannot believe that we are even having a debate about whether employers can deny women access to birth control. Guys, this is 2014, not 1914. Most Americans thought this was settled long ago. But for some reason, Republicans keep dragging us back here over and over and over again.
I'm sorry, what was settled was so long ago? That you should have free abortions? that your employer now should pay for your abortion free? Notice, if you don't get it free or paid for by the government or your employer, somehow you're denied access. So, do you know this? I'm deprived. I'm denied access to the movies. I got to pay for my own movies. How come Entercom doesn't pay for my own movie tickets? My cable bill. Why do I? It's like the water segment. How come I have to pay for my own cable? Shouldn't everybody have free cable? How come Entercom doesn't pay for my cable? I'm being denied access. Oh my God. You mean if I want to buy a box of condoms? No, I got to pay for it? I'm being denied access. This is criminal. Oh my God, this is Nazi Germany. Now, if you seriously believe this, you're insane. You're insane. The morning after pill, baby, you can buy that at any pharmacy, at any CVS, anywhere you want, in Massachusetts, in any other state, in the Bible Belt, in any state or pharmacy in the United States of America. So because Hobby Lobby won't pay for 2 types of contraception to their own employees, this is setting them back 100 years? That's why I believe she is going to be laughed off of the political stage. All this talk about her being a rock star. I said this to Cooksey on the way in. I don't care what you think of Michael. I don't care for Michael Jackson or Bruce Springsteen or many of these. But they produce a product. They cut albums, they cut DVDs, they write songs, they sing songs. Millions of people buy those songs, listen to those songs. I get it. You've done something. Mick Jagger, the Rolling Stones, I could go on. You've done something to be a rock star. This woman, it's the same speech over and literally over and over and over again with the same lines. The middle class is being hammered. The middle class is being hammered. The middle class is being hammered. Hammered. She doesn't even say smashed, squeezed, taking it from all sides, under siege, under attack, something. Can you change? She uses the exact same words. It's hammered. Hammered. Just being hammered. You ask her a question, she runs. She runs. You think reporters are like skunks or something? Like, no one's going to spray you, Chief Spreading Bull. Take it easy. What are you running for, Chief? Chief, take it easy. So what are you got some kind of a peace pipe you got to smoke, Chief? What, you got to do a little war dance? What are you running for? Easy, Chief. This is one of the biggest frauds I've ever seen in my life. She thinks she's ready for the big time. No way, my friends. This rock star is going to come crashing down, and I believe fast. What do you think, Boston? 617-266-6868. Jim, you're up next. Thanks for holding. Go.
Hello?
Hi, Jim.
Oh, yeah. I want to thank you, Jeff Kuhner, for everything you do. You're a true patriot, and you're American, and I put over 100% and all your listeners in your trust. We have corrupt leaders right now, and you ever notice before they're sworn into office, they do take religion into it because they put their hand on the Bible and they take an oath to swear that they're going to uphold the Constitution and our laws. So why is it like when Deval Patrick gets on national TV, right now he's bringing church into the picture with politics, why doesn't he put his hand on the Bible and swear on national TV before he even speaks that he's all going to tell us the truth, or whether it's him or Obama or any of them? I'll take my answer off the air.
Jim, because the fact of the matter is, he's like most Democratic politicians. He has nothing but contempt for the Bible, contempt for religion. He uses it cynically, opportunistically, whenever it suits his ends. Notice, you want to speak out on abortion. You want to speak out on the morning after pill, which is a form of abortion. Separation of church and state. How come all these Christians are so angry? Why does the owner of Hobby Lobby say he has a right to his religious beliefs? Separation of church and state. Pay for someone's abortion. Pay for it through the nose. But suddenly, when it comes to illegal immigration, they found Jesus. They're all, quote, Bible thumpers. Now they're thumping the Bible, as the libs say. Then, he's quoting Scripture. I swear, he was practically crying. He had Cardinal O'Malley behind him. I think he had a rabbi behind him. I think he had a Muslim imam behind him. He had some Protestant minister behind him. Suddenly, my Christian faith, my Christian conscience, suddenly, we have to bring in these illegals. We have to. Oh, I'm a very religious man. I'm appealing to people's religious sensibilities. And all I'm thinking is, have you no shame? You rail against separation of church, or you rail against separation of, or for separation of church and state day and night? No religion in public policy? Now, when you're trying to ram maybe the most unpopular initiative in decades down the throats of the people of Massachusetts? He's a born again. It was a revival meeting last week. The only thing missing was the holy water being splashed. I believe. I've seen the light. I believe. Now, you phony, you fraud, you. Let's go to Sister Superior. Sister Superior, you're on the Kuhner Report, and welcome. Sister, are you actually a real nun?
No, but I want to thank you for what you do, Jeff, and I'm going to be filling up my holy water to bring it to the rally on Saturday.
Oh, God bless you. Thank you.
I think you're the next Joan of Arc, who defended France. Not that she got burned at the stake. But
please, because honestly, seriously, we're getting a lot of death threats. In fact, I swear, Brittany, why shouldn't I say anything? Don't? She's very cool. Brittany's very nervous. Everybody, they want me to wear a bulletproof vest.
Well, I'm bringing the holy water.
That's what I said. I'm not worried. My people are going to be there. Don't worry, I say. But everybody's panicking. Jeff, because the libs... Now, Brittany's saying, now you really are going to get shot. The libs are livid. I'm telling you, sister, you wouldn't believe the death threats the Kuhner man is going. So please, I don't want to be like Joan of Arc. I don't want to be a martyr. I don't want to be Deval Patrick's first political casualty.
Well,
I don't want to be burned at the stake, sister. It hurts. It burns. It hurts.
That caller that called Mr. Balmore,
yes.
From what town was it? I didn't know that Sean O'Malley is the second largest landowner of Massachusetts. I believe he's an agent of the agenda, and I say arrest Juan, which is, Sean is Irish for John. So I say arrest Juan. He's an arrogant traitor.
Thank you for that call, sister. 617-266-6868. Jerry, you're up next. Thanks for holding. Go ahead, Jerry.
Good morning, Jeff.
Hi, Jerry.
Well, I want to go back to Elizabeth Warren there for a second.
Sure.
And I got to tell you, I think she's got Ted Kennedy syndrome. She could get elected in Massachusetts to anything she wants. But that whole socialist Northeastern Massachusetts liberal, that's not going to play down in the South. That's not going to play in certain corners of the country. It just, to sit there and just the absurdity of what she says, you didn't build that. Every small business owner in this country rips their hair out every time they hear that idiot say, well, you didn't build this. Well, really, Elizabeth? What have you done? You tell me. I think that she is, like you say about these people now with immigration, I think she's an opportunist. She's laying the groundwork to, just in case Hillary might be looking for a vice president or something. But I think she's too extreme for the country. And the difference between her and Barack did not come out and say, yeah, I'm pretty much going to take all your stuff and give it away, to other people. And those of you who work hard are idiots. He lied his way into the White House. He fooled people, fooled them twice. But I don't think the country's going to go that way again for another 4 years.
Jerry, I'm telling you right now, I hope she becomes the Democrats' nominee in 2016, because she's going to get wiped out. I mean destroyed. I mean annihilated. She won't win 30% of the vote. I guarantee it. No.
If you've ever seen her talk in person,
I have.
She's a blithering idiot. She is absolutely a blithering. She has to. Remember the press conference she had with Deval Patrick?
Yes.
Somebody asked her a question. She had to turn around like,
yes.
I'm sorry. What am I supposed to say here?
No, I know. I mean, she's really not. Yeah, she's extremely hyper. Brittany says it's like she's on speed. She's like ultra hyper. Like her hands are moving. She doesn't know. She's looking around. She panics. No, she's not the brightest light bulb. Let's just put it that way. Okay.
If she had been a Republican, she never would have got elected in Massachusetts. In Massachusetts, an election with a D after your name doesn't matter how good or bad you are, but that's not going to play on the national stage.
Jerry, I'll tell you what she is, really. She's a city councilor.
If that.
No, if that. No, but really, that's what she is. She's one of those crazy community activist city councilors. You know, like for Cambridge or something. One of those. I get it. But as a senator, are you kidding me? A presidential candidate? God help us. She's a model to the model, Scott Brown. Thanks for running a great campaign, Scotty.
Thoughts, ideas, opinions.
The only thing that can change course is the American people rising up.
On AM 680, WRKO.
9:25 here on the great WRKO. Chris, you're up next. Thanks for holding and welcome.
Hello, Jeff.
Hey, Chris.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I've heard them talking, some guys echoing the same things I am meaning to say. The thing that drives me the craziest about Elizabeth Warren and Deval Patrick and Obama is that they're professional liars. When it comes to dealing with the liberals, how they obfuscate the issues, which is obviously a form of lying, and they like to distract you. So what he was saying, I can't believe that the Republicans are having a problem with this Holly Hobby case. To me, it was that the Democrats brought it back up by putting it into the health care bill, and some private citizens said, whoa, slow down. Where do the Republicans come into the play of this thing? She's up there pounding her fist like an idiot in the well of the Senate, saying, here we go again, the Republicans hammering the little guy, when none of that is factually accurate whatsoever. The Democrats brought it up by shoving it. When a private company decided, the private business or entity said, well, don't shove this down my throat.
Chris, you know who's hammering the middle class? You know who's hammering the working people of this state and this country? Chief Spreading Bull. She's hammering us with illegal immigration and open borders. She's hammering us with Obamacare. She's hammering us with higher taxes. She's hammering us with a crippling debt that basically is bankrupting the futures of our children and grandchildren. The only person I see hammering anybody is the chief with her tomahawk, cracking our skulls one by one. No, she's been a fraud her entire life. And what I can't, look, I'll be honest with you, really. You want to be a progressive or a socialist or a liberal or whatever, it's a free country. I'll tell you what I can't stand. I hate phonies, liars, and hypocrites. I hate a hypocrite. Don't stand there drinking Chardonnay in your $1.4 million mansion, flipping houses, shilling for the insurance companies, basically like a lawyer gun for hire, standing there making $350,000 a year to teach one lousy course, claiming you're some phony Indian, and then lecture us how you defend the 99% and the middle class is being hammered? You phony, you fraud, you. In a different time, in a different era, I swear she'd be tarred and feathered. Are you listening, Chief? 6-1. That's why I'm going to expose her. She thinks she can get away with this. The people of America are going to learn who Chief Spreading Bull truly is. She's not a chief, but she's spreading a lot of bull. Mags, you're up next. Thanks for holding. Welcome.
And that's the truth, Jeffrey. She's spreading a lot of bull. First up, I'd like to talk about Common Core.
Go ahead, shoot.
Common Core, to me, and but the people in this country, is something that we're suffering with the last 3 generations that have come out. They don't want to work. They don't think they have to work. And they're above all the rest of us. Is that correct or not correct?
Yes, Jeff? You're dead on.
Okay, that's a product of Common Core. That is very scary that people in this country do not understand that and do not see what it's done, what it's already done, how it's already affecting this country, and it's only getting worse. Secondly, Mr. Baker, please, if you want to run this year, step up to the plate. Let's go. Put yourself out there. Mr. Kuhner is, maybe you should be running, Jeff. Thirdly, if Elizabeth Warren becomes President of the United States of America, I will be moving out of this country, because then I will know for sure that people have lost their minds here, because she is nothing but a clown in regular clothing.
Max,
That's all she is.
I'll be like Moses leading the Exodus.
I'll be behind you. I'll be with you. And
Brittany says she will.
I'm sorry that I can't be with you Saturday because of a family obligation. I will be with you in my heart and soul. You know that, Jeff. You know I'm 100% behind you. Brittany, you're great. Cooksey, you're awesome. Jeff, you're the best. You know that I think that. You're right, and you're what's going to save this country. And if more people got listening and they started paying attention, they'd realize that everything you're saying is true, and you're just trying to educate this country.
Thank you, Max. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. God bless you. No, if Chief Spreading Bull becomes the president in 2016, God forbid, then Brittany says she'll be Moses. Whatever. We can both be Moses. My people, I will lead us from the slavery of Egypt, or in this case, America. What do you guys, New Zealand? I'll part the Pacific Ocean. We'll go all the way to... We'll go all the way. She wants to go to Tahiti. But we'll go to Tahiti. We'll go to New Zealand. My people, we will flee from the slavery of Chief Spreading Bull's America. 617-266-6868. Yeah, before we all start pitching teepees. 9:31 on the Great WRKO. More with your calls next. 9:40 on the Great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's bulldozer, cleaning up the liberal bull. 617-266-6868 is the number. We're going to continue to talk about Chief Spreading Bull. However, I do want to mention the Malaysian Airlines. It's a very important story, and there are dramatic new developments. Here is now what is taking place. It now appears pretty clear from U.S. intelligence sources, European intelligence sources, Ukrainian intelligence sources, and even now from some reports from Mother Russia itself, that the missile used to fire down Malaysian Airlines Flight 17 was an SA-11 missile provided by Russia, by Putin's government, to the pro-Russian insurgents or separatists in eastern Ukraine. What is even more disgusting and more despicable, and has infuriated, rightly, the Dutch government, the Australian government, the Malaysian government, many of those that lost a lot of their citizens on that flight, is there is now compelling evidence and pictures that the Russian insurgents then went to the crash site and deliberately began to clean up the evidence. They even began to saw off and take off, literally cut off chunks of the front part of the plane, because that's where the missile hit, primarily the front part of the plane, to basically cover up their involvement and the Kremlin's involvement in the shooting down of that plane. What is even more despicable, and I'm looking at some pictures right now, especially in the European press, there are dead bodies everywhere. Everywhere. And rather than allowing international monitors and rescue teams to come in, retrieve the bodies, and have them be buried with some dignity, the pro-Russian rebels allowed them to essentially rot in the open. They then later grabbed the bodies after they were looted. After the bodies, many of the rebels then took their wallets, took their jewelry, took their watches, took their electronic items, basically just pillaged and stole. Just picked them, literally just picked their pockets. Came in there and plundered what was on the bodies of the victims. So after they stole from these victims, they then grabbed the bodies and dumped them. Almost like in cattle cars that were used in Auschwitz. Dumped them in refrigerated cattle cars and began shipping out of Donetsk. There were other body bags where the bodies were in them, just left wide open, rotting, stinking, smelling corpses. The Europeans are livid. This is not how you treat the dead. They are covering up this investigation. They are suppressing the evidence. The dead have been desecrated repeatedly. And what is the dear leader's response? He's warning Putin, I swear to you, of more sanctions to come, maybe. Maybe. In other words, Nothing. Nothing. Except more name-calling. And all the while, Putin, the strongman, is standing up to the dear leader and basically telling him to go fly a kite. And this event has shaken the confidence of the Europeans in America's leadership, in America's strength. In fact, it now has many people openly questioning the dear leader's own character and some even his own sanity. Because as you remember, when the crash took place, when the plane was shot out of the sky, the dear leader was at a fundraiser in Delaware. At the time, it was thought that there were 23 Americans on board the plane. Those were the initial reports. Thankfully, there weren't 23 Americans on that plane. But initially, that was the speculation. That's what Reuters had reported. That's what some of the media were reporting. Every major media outlet in the entire world was leading with this story. And what was his response? Roll it, Brittany.
Hello, everybody. Everybody, please have a seat. Please have a seat. It is wonderful to be back in Delaware. Before I begin, obviously the world is watching reports of a downed passenger jet near the Russia-Ukraine border. And it looks like it may be a terrible tragedy. Right now we're working to determine whether there were American citizens on board. That is our first priority. And I've directed my national security team to stay in close contact with the Ukrainian government. The United States will offer any assistance we can to help determine what happened and why. And as a country, our thoughts and prayers are with all the families of the passengers wherever they call home.
Don't seem too sad there, dear leader. I wouldn't want you to seem too solemn. I wouldn't want you to, really mourn the dead there, dear leader. I mean, it's chilling. It's almost that of a sociopath. Now, what's not on the tape, because we just don't have time to get into it, he starts getting into jokes. It was a 16-hour, basically a joking, comedic speech where he's going on about the Bidens are there, Joe Biden is there, his wife is there, his son is there. Oh, Joe, you're not the best looking guy in the family. Oh, hey ho, hey ho, hey ho. And the crowd is just yucking it up. He continued with his fundraiser. He not only continued with his fundraiser, God is my witness, he then stuffed his face at a charcoal pit, shoving cheeseburgers down his throats. And then what did he do after that? When he's not fundraising, he played golf all weekend. So, you've got the Gaza Strip going up in smoke. A major invasion, a major conflict, a military conflict is taking place in the Middle East. He's playing golf. You have the Russian insurgents shooting a plane out of the sky. He's playing golf. You have Iran now given another 4-month extension to continue their drive for a nuclear bomb. The Iranian negotiations have completely collapsed. He's playing golf. You have ISIS, radical Sunni insurgents linked to Al-Qaeda, now taking over and occupying a third of Iraq, destroying all of the gains we made during the Iraq War. He's playing golf. Syria continues to burn. He's playing golf. This was an international act of piracy. It was an international war crime. There's no getting around it. Look at how weak, how feckless, frankly, how pathetic his response was. And I want you to listen and compare to when we had a real president, a real American in the White House. In 1983, then Soviet Russia shot down a Korean airliner. It was denounced by the Europeans and the world. Reagan was at an event when he found out about it. Compare Reagan's response to that of the dear leader. Roll it, Brittany.
I'm coming before you tonight about the Korean airline massacre. The attack by the Soviet Union against 269 innocent men, women, and children aboard an unarmed Korean passenger plane. This crime against humanity must never be forgotten, here or throughout the world. Let me state as plainly as I can, there was absolutely no justification, either legal or moral, for what the Soviets did. Despite the savagery of their crime, the universal reaction against it, and the evidence of their complicity, the Soviets still refuse to tell the truth. They have persistently refused to admit that their pilot fired on the Korean aircraft. Indeed, they've not even told their own people that a plane was shot down. They deny the deed, but in their conflicting and misleading protestations, the Soviets reveal that, yes, shooting down a plane, even one with hundreds of innocent men, women, children, and babies, is a part of their normal procedure if that plane is in what they claim as their airspace. They owe the world an apology.
That, my friends, is leadership. That, my friends, is moral clarity. That, my friends, is the leader of the free and civilized world. How far we've fallen. The dear leader, shame on you. 9:55 on the great WRKO, Jeff Kuhner, the voice of the resistance. The New England Green Book is back, and at GetMyPerks.com, are you looking for affordable golfing options this summer? Well, how does golfing 8 different courses for less than the price of one sound? The New England Green Book contains passes for a round of golf to 8 different courses for only $100. That's it. 100 clams, 100 smackaroos. Purchase the 2014 New England Green Book right now at GetMyPerks.com. Brought to you by Get My Perks and Boston's talk station, AM 680 WRKO. My friends, another reminder. This Saturday, July 26th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the steps of the State House, Kuhner Country will be holding a major rally protesting the dumping of illegal immigrants in the state of Massachusetts. Please, I need all of you to show up. I will be speaking. Shauna O'Connell will be speaking. The mayor of Lynn will be speaking. We'll have other people speaking as well. It will be a major event. I need you to show up. We can win this with your help, my friends, but we need to have our voice heard. Donna, you're up next. Thanks for holding. Welcome.
God be with you, Jeff.
Thank you, Donna.
Yes. Listen, honey, this is about Elizabeth Warren. She is just as much a set-up plant as Obama was. You know how they said she wasn't a media creation? She is a creation. The Obamas and Valerie Jarrett, as we know, can't stand her. Elizabeth Warren is their chosen one to carry on the agenda. Why? I'm saying, okay, because she's a true follower and she can't think on her own. Do you remember when she just won the Senate and she was on the White House steps with Obama and Mini-Me? I said, my God, why is she there? Well, they asked her, the news media asked her what committee she wanted to be on. Her neck about broke as she flipped over and she looked at Duvall. And he looks back at her incredulously and he said, you have to pick the committee you want to be on. She can't think on her own. So the Obamas and Jarrett and them plant her as president with the DNC, and they probably promote it with Media Matters. I can smell Soros on this, too. Nothing that's done by the left is driven from the bottom. All the ideas and rhetoric come from the top, and then you push them down. And you know how you can tell? Every time you hear a new term or there's a new agenda item that comes up or the spin and fix version of how to interpret another scandal, it's always the same words. And then we hear it at the bottom with the followers, and we hear them with Elizabeth Warren ad nauseum. So she is, don't forget it, people, she is an absolute incompetent plant, inexperienced, just like Obama was, but they are promoting her, and I can't wait to see the nails come out of Hillary when she finds out about this. I mean, or when it actually happens.
Donna, look, brilliant call. There are now multiple media reports. Even the AP and ABC News are now reporting this, just to prove your point. Obama is throwing his support, or at least his machine, behind Elizabeth Warren, behind Chief Spreading Bull. He is not backing Hillary. His entire fundraising, I'm not talking about the DNC, his own private fundraising operation, David Axelrod, David Plouffe, that whole Valerie Jarrett, that whole Chicago gang, they're putting all their support behind Chief Spreading Day. Because if there's anyone to complete the socialist revolution, it's the Chief. Brenda, I got about a minute. Go.
Yes, love Donna. Hope to meet her there on Saturday. Find it fascinating that they call us the radicals. One of these days you need to get a psychiatrist. You mentioned it before, so we can do an analysis. A really good psychiatrist, maybe like a Keith Abloh, about this guy in the White House. And in terms of Elizabeth Warren, if I hear that little song again, Run, Liz, Run, I'm going to be running for the hills.
I gotta go, my friends. You've been listening to Boston's Bulldozer, and remember, together we're beating liberals one day at a time. Remember, you can listen to the Kuhner Man every day, same time, same place, here on the great WRKO.
News at the top and bottom, talk in between.
Executing assigned host duties flawlessly because I can't do wrong.
This is AM 680 WRKO, Boston.